I think the next thing I'm going to do is I pulled the Rambler up here so I can remember to put a front parking light in on it. We got a car show today, and I'm going to clean that one up and fix the light and get it ready to take to the show. Well, I came out here to fix this light, and it's working. It's working both on the light side and on the turn signal side. But one of the things I noticed, and I don't know if you can notice or not, the car is running and you'll see the light pulsating a little bit, kind of telling me that it's got a pretty poor ground. What I'm going to do is just take it apart, take the light bulb out, kind of clean everything all up, spray a little WD-40 in there, put it back together. Because what will happen otherwise is it might be working now, it might not be working by the time I get down to the bottom of the hill. Once I get it all firmed up good, then I know that it's working. That's going to be a lot better. This car is very old, and the turn signal light indicator on the dash sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, most of the time doesn't. So it's kind of an act of faith when you hit the turn signal and you sort of think it's working, sort of hope it's working. Big truck coming up behind you and you really hope it's working. You never are quite sure. This is a car that can stand a good rewiring from end to end, and that's a project I'll be taking on at some point, but I got a lot of other work to do before I get to that. But I'll just go ahead and clean up this light right quick anyway. Here's what's going on with this light. This light has two little screws that come through both sides. They attach to this little holder plate for the back here. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure this is original equipment. Looks like something someone might have made up to try to attach this thing back in place. These screws on either side go into either side of this, but they don't tighten up. They just turn freely. So what I'm going to do is find me a couple of nuts to fit on these, put it all back into place, and then tighten up the nuts on the back of these so that I can pull this up tight. Because what grounds this is when this metal touches the bumper. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, I went to the store. Most of the time when I need something and I can't find it, I'll go to the store, and then when I get back I'll find 10 of them. But this is a pretty small bolt, and I found a wing nut to go on it. I like the idea of a wing nut because it's going to be up under here. It's going to be pretty hard to reach up under here and get a wrench on that. So with this little wing nut, I should be able to reach under there and tighten it. That should work pretty smooth. So I'm going to put this right through both brackets, put this wing nut on the back, tighten it up. That should pull it in good and snug, and we should have a good ground, and we'll go from there. Here's another update. That bracket on the back of there, you tighten it as far as it will go and it's still loose. It's not actually touching the body. What I'm going to do is a little piece of metal here. I'm going to cut an edge on one end so it's like a little wedge. Loosen that up enough so that I can slip this up under there, tap it up in between that bracket and the bumper, and then tighten my screws back. You'll notice I've run this through the grinder, so I've took the finish off both sides so that it should ground against the bumper between those two metal pieces. I think that'll work. We'll see. Well, that piece didn't work. It was a little bit too big. But I found a smaller little piece. I slipped one up under one side. It seems like it's working good. I'll slip one under the other side, tighten it up, and see if that doesn't take care of it. Good and snug, and it's working. Let's try the turn signal and see what happens. Well, that's interesting. Interestingly enough, I said a while ago my dash light wasn't working on the turn signal. Now it is, and the reason it wasn't working obviously was because this wasn't grounded correctly. Now that it is grounded correctly, it's working pretty well.